Welcome to the SNS show, hosted by executive producers Dr. Michelle Stevens, along with her co host, Coach Yava Swearington, as they focus on important issues within our society, from the highs and lows of surviving everyday life, and so much more. And now, here are your hosts.
How many of you came into 2023 in a relationship you should have let go when the clock struck 12? And the question is why? During today's show, we're going to be talking about that very question. Thank you for tuning in to our first season. Hi, I'm Dr. Stevens. Along with me is my co-host, Coach Yava Swearington.
Hi, and I am Coach Yava Swearington, and welcome. We are so excited to be kicking off our first episode titled, Why Stay When You Really Want Out?
Our first title in this season is Does Love Have Rules? But the question really should be, do you have love to your rules? Do you have rules to your love? Coach, are there rules to love?
Yes, there are rules to love. There's an old golden saying that's for love and relationship that says, Do unto others as you would have them to do unto you.
Well, that's the statement there. But you know what? My whole thing is, does love have rules? You can ask anybody, do you have rules to be in love? And most people will say yes. We have expectations, but no one really knows how to voice or explain to someone what their expectations of being loved. What do you think? Come on, let's have a conversation. Because I know when I asked my fiance, do you have rules to your love? Are there rules to love? And the thing that I find is people come into relationships with expectations, but they don't know how to voice the expectations. They don't know how to tell people how to love them.
I agree, Dr. Stevens, with that. That is, I believe, one of the very fundamental steps that has to take place in a relationship, right? Way back to courtshipping and all this stuff that you do, really getting to know one another. You need to talk about these type of things before you even decide whether you even want to be with that person.
Well, the one thing coming into a relationship, you need to know how you want to be loved. I know for me, in meeting someone, I have already, we all have a checklist. We have a checklist of what we want somebody to look like, how we want somebody to treat us. Or for me, one of the things that I definitely put on my checklist is first, a man had to know how to love me, but he had to know how to love his mother before he can know how to love me. That's important to know what you expect. That's important to know what you want. My top of my list, my rules to love was good communication and honesty. You have to be honest. You have to have good communication. But I'm a firm believer, if man don't know how to treat his mother, he definitely don't know how to treat you.
How, um, you know what? And speaking of that, some men don't even have mothers. They may have been born, but they didn't have a woman that took care of them. So a lot of them lose the way in learning how to care for a woman. But for me, one of the first things I need in a relationship is respect. That is like my number one thing. I want respect over all things. You don't have that, I don't even want to deal with you personally. I believe respect. I believe you got to have some humor there, and I believe that you got to share your values, talk about what your values are in a relationship. So for me, I need those things.
Well, I'm a minister of the gospel. I love the word of God. And I want to give some rules that the word of God says.
Mm.
It says, love is patient. Love does not boast. Love is kind. Love does not envy. Love is not arrogant. Love is not rude. Love does not insist of its own, meaning, you're not selfish. Nobody really wants somebody that's selfish. Love is not abusive. If you're in a relationship where someone is abusive and controlling you, that's not love. And I know a lot of times, because the way people have grown up and they grew up in an abusive situation, they confuse that with love. But abuse is not love. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. And when we return, we're going to be talking about emotionally trapped.
Been here since day one. Hey, it's your girl, Coach Lady Q, asking you to join me on the Glow 365 TV every first Tuesday for the Mia Allman Show, hosted by yours truly, followed by the second Tuesday with Holistic Health Show with Coach Dawn. We stroll down to the third Tuesday with On Q Show, hosted by Evangelist Coach Lady Q. Then we close out the month with the Sophie G Show, hosted by Coach Sophie G. Join us as we go live on Facebook and YouTube at Glow 365 TV Show every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time as we talk about the mind, body, and soul, a conversation you don't want to miss.
Make somebody emotionally trapped in a relationship. What do you say would make somebody emotionally trapped in a relationship? We're now talking about being emotionally trapped.
Okay, awesome. You know, there's a lot of things that can have a person emotionally trapped in a relationship, and some of the things that comes to mind when I hear that is that sometimes it's abuse, whether it's physical or verbal abuse. A person can be emotionally trapped. Sometimes it's financially bound, meaning they lack enough finances to move on in their life, so they stay connected to someone that is supporting them or taking care of them. So there's different things that can make a person emotionally trapped in a relationship and that they can't move on.
Well, just finances, emotionally trapped. They have other reasons. Some people get confused in love. When they're feeling like I love this person. We have these emotions, we have these soul ties to one another.
I tend to think that people are very confused with that. They confuse what they're feeling and to what is actually happening and taking place in their life.
That's true.
Besides, one of the other things that make people emotionally trapped is a fear. They have a sense of something. The fear is really the number one thing.
Mm-hmm. Fear not wanting to be alone. Fear of not afraid that someone else can get them, just various things. But I also find that when it comes to being emotionally trapped, people also have a misconception of whether or not the other person truly loved them. They're like, oh yeah, they love me.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of times there's missed signs with that. They're reading love wrong. That is another thing that causes people to be trapped in relationships. Because they get the signals wrong.
Right.
Or the fact that they don't open up their mouth and ask. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you should be able to tell when you're being mistreated. But some people can't tell when they're being mistreated. Some people believe being abused is a form of love from the other person.
I also heard, I believe it was on Divorce Court,
mm-hmm.
where the judge was saying, don't let a man tell you more than once he don't want you.
Mm.
And I believe that, we're a lot to ourselves. We're a lot to ourselves, knowing the person don't want us, knowing we don't want them, but we'll stay in that relationship because we're confusing it with love. We're confusing it with commitment. We're confusing it with dedication.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I saw that episode.
You did?
It was a female judge. I saw
that. Yes.
Telling the lady to what you were just saying. Sometimes it's how did you just put that? I've been with you for so long. The length of time with a person is another thing that confuses people in relationships and mistake that for love.
Yes, absolutely. And I've seen people stay in relationships and desperation. They're desperate to have a man or they're desperate to have a woman. I know a guy that's in an abusive relationship and he's not the abuser. The woman is. And I asked him, are you afraid of losing her? And this gentleman told me yes. It was mind blowing to me due to the fact that someone is abusing him. And I believe it's emotional. People have deep rooted scars, deep rooted issues that they have not resolved in their childhood that they bring into their adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
And they confuse these things with love. What's your take on that, Coach?
I agree with you 100%. Totally. Totally on that. A lot of things stems from childhood. When people get into these type of relationship, they don't even know they when they're walking into these relationship, they don't understand that it has a lot to do with their upbringing. You know that the abuse actually kind of started there, and it continues to live out through their life.
Right. Well, on that note, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about why women stay in a relationship they really don't want. Be right back.
Join the conversation on Living the Life You Love, hosted by founder, executive producer, and host Catherine Murray Love, brings you a monthly talk show that takes you on a journey of exclusive interviews from individuals who share their passion as business entrepreneurs, community leaders, an advocate to raise awareness, and how they found purpose in being successful and living the life they love. Join us as we go live on Facebook and YouTube at Kweliworks, KWELIWORKS, monthly every fourth Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. A conversation you don't want to miss. This show is executive produced by Catherine Murray Love and powered by Kweliworks Empowerment Broadcast Network.
Welcome back. As I said before we took that break, that we're going to be talking about why women stay in a relationship they really don't want. We stay in relationships that we really don't want to be in. And I found that some people will stay in a relationship because they're afraid that someone else will get that person that they're with that they really don't want. Coach, what's your take on why women and men both do the same thing, stay in a relationship that they really don't want?
One of the number one reasons I tend to think about that is because they're, again, afraid of being alone, fear, don't want to be without. And so they're selfish at the end of the day. And so it's all about them versus what's really best for them or what's best for the other person. So that's why I think that and believe that people stay with people that they don't want anyone else to have.
That they don't want us to have, or they don't want. Because I find that they don't want the person, and when you said something right there, that they really don't want somebody else to have them. And what confuses me, it doesn't even confuse me, which really doesn't make sense to me, is that they're holding to somebody they don't want. They know this person, they know everything about this individual, they don't love them, they don't want them, they don't like them anymore, but they want to keep them so someone else will not get them. Why?
Again, selfish. That's why it just comes down to just being downright selfish, and a fear of not having someone. Everybody wants somebody. Well, I ain't gonna say everybody. That's a little broad. Most people want someone to care for them and to love or to be loved. And when you're lacking in that, you're still searching for that. You have someone. Some of us will be healthy. The healthy ones will say, "Oh, this is not working for me, and I'm out." The ones that are not healthy, in the unhealthy relationship, it goes differently. I don't want you, but I don't want nobody else to have you. So I'm gonna keep you until I figure out what I want. That's just straight selfishness, and it's no another thing else.
On that note, we're gonna take a break, but when we come back, we're gonna have the reading of a cherry note. So let me tell you before we go. The cherry note is a letter that people write into the Dr. S&S show concerning a situation that they're dealing with and they're looking for some answers. So we're going to have the reading of the Cherry Note by Coach Yava Swearington when we come back.
Hello and welcome. For those of you I haven't met, I'm Coach Yava Swearington, a certified life coach, one of the executive producer and co-hosts, bringing to you live this January 19, 2023 at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, where we will be discussing matters of the heart, interesting topics, and controversial conversations from the Dr. Stevens and Swearington Show, also known as the S&S Show. If you have concerns about health and wellness, matters of the heart, write to us and we will share it with our viewers. The Cherry Note and our response. Don't forget to share, like, and follow us on Facebook and visit us at www.drsnsshow.com. Make it sizzle, make it hot.
We're now going to have the reading of the Cherry Note read by Coach Yava Swearington.
It reads as follows. I'm in a 20-year marriage that have been very turbulent. I met my husband at a drug rehab center, and we both were in the process of becoming clean. We got ourselves together, and we have been together ever since. 20 years of marriage. He, over the past years, have gotten sick and is now disabled. He has become very abusive, and I have done nothing but been supportive. Now in the years, we have had fights. We have called the police on each other. We have separated and gotten back together. We don't have any children together, but we both have children. I am miserable because he is so verbally and emotionally abusive. He recently called the police on me and told them I hit him. And here we are living in the same house and we have to go to court. I did nothing to him, nor did I hit him. I really think my husband is jealous of me. He's in a wheelchair because he has had his leg amputated. I recently went back to college and have decided to live my life and fulfill some long-term dreams and goals. I have thought many times of putting him out because he moved into my apartment with me the last time we got back together. I want to work it out because I love him, but I can't take the abuse any longer. Help, what should I do? Signed, miserable and looking for love. Dr. Stevens, what is your take on this?
Well, first, let's go back to her beginning when she said they met each other in a drug rehab center. So here we have two broken people coming together, and two halves don't make a whole when you're both are broken. You just got two broken pieces.
Absolutely.
Yes. And then she said that, they got together, they was fighting, calling the police on each other. These people were not whole. They had no business even getting together. So they had no plans. They went off emotions and sightseeing. Sightseeing. They see what they like. They saw something attractive. Knowing here they are both in recovery. Mm-hmm. And to be honest with you, they're still in recovery.
Yes.
Yeah, they're still in recovery. And now they're calling the police on each other, putting each other out, getting back together. These are broken people. And she's looking for an answer. So I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to give her an answer. She said, help, what should I do? So we're going to give her an answer as soon as we come back.
Hey, it's your girl, Coach Lady Q, asking you to join me on the Glow 365 TV every first Tuesday for the Mia Allman Show, hosted by yours truly, followed by the second Tuesday with Holistic Health Show with Coach Dawn. We stroll down to the third Tuesday with On Q Show, hosted by Evangelist Coach Lady Q. Then we close out the month with the Sophie G Show, hosted by Coach Sophie G. Join us as we go live on Facebook and YouTube at Glow 365 TV Show every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time as we talk about the mind, body, and soul in conversation you don't want to miss.
Welcome back to the Dr. Stevenson Swearington Show. Miserable and looking for love. That's how she signed it. Miserable and looking for love. But before we give her answer, I want to get more into where she said that she believed her husband is jealous of her because she's now deciding to pursue some dreams and some goals. And that's a good place to be. So that tells me at some point she took time to see that she was lacking and needed some help. However, now here he is focused on her because now he's in a wheelchair. He has an amputated leg, and we can go into a whole spectrum of what that takes, how that feel to take care of somebody who's sick. But I want to give an answer. And then, Coach, I want you to come in and give an answer. For me, I believe they both need counseling. They need counseling. They need to take time to heal and to focus on themselves. Although he may be on the wheelchair, he still can do some things. He has not died. He's still living. So he needs to live life. How about you, Coach? What's your take? What's an answer for her?
Well, my take on that, I do agree with you on that note as well, Dr. Stevens. For him, is mainly I find when people in this type of situation, is more about, again, back to the word fear. It's been like the biggest thing I'm talking about the whole conversation. He does have a fear of her moving on. He has a fear of being left alone in his condition. You know, they did come together, two lines came together already broken. And as you spoke on it, there was some healing that needed to take place, some therapy that needed to take place prior to them coming together as one. What they did find was common ground, and that was being in the rehab center. However, life has gone on. They made it work for whatever reasons. Now he's sick and disabled. And he just had that fear of like, I'm gonna be left alone. She's gonna go on with her life. I'm the one stuck in. He's feeling broken. He's feeling not like he can be something else. But there's many people that are disabled individuals who go on to having successful lives. But first, he got to get their mind right, shift that attitude, that thought process, and understand that there's more work to be done. But it's his job to figure out what that is. And no woman should feel bound, or a person should feel bound to having to take care of someone if they choose to decide that they're ready to move on. Their life is taking a different, channel, and they are ready to move on. And she shouldn't feel guilty to move on for whatever the reason is. And I do feel there's some sense of guilt. I do feel that she is ready for change. I believe she's tired. She says she loves him, but there's a lot more in this letter that tells me that it's not about love for her. It's about surviving and moving on and living her best life because now she's tired and burned out. That's my take on that.
Well, there's something else she said too in that letter that you read, where she said that she loved him and she wants to work it out. Did you read that in there somewhere in the last?
She's looking for someone to give her a reason to say bye.
Well, I don't want to make no jokes on people, because we all a little serious here. She want to say bye. When you say bye, you pack it up and leave. But no, seriously, I don't really think she wants to leave. Again, she has. Again, we talked about being emotionally trapped. Mm-hmm. We talked about people having, these soul ties. Mm-hmm. And I would say a good answer from me to her is to truly search herself. And as you said, Coach, she shouldn't feel trapped. She shouldn't feel bound because of his handicap or his disability. Mm-hmm. If you and for miserable and looking for love, mm-hmm. I want to say stop looking for love. Stop looking for love. Begin to love yourself. And if you truly love your husband, get him some mental counseling, healing as well.
And
go ahead, Coach.
And see, that's where it kind of stems from, getting to the heart of the matter, the truth of the matter. But again, they found each other in broken places. That doesn't necessarily, that doesn't necessarily mean they were in love, and see the very foundation of that relationship. Now, after spending 20 years with someone, was it love or was it commitment because they had both had to strive for something? They were broken people working on that. So a lot of times it may not have been a foundation of love that they came together. It
Hmm.
more like to me in this letter was a foundation of survival.
Right, right, right.
This is but again, I agree with you to this. If she really does love him, then you wouldn't be tired and you wouldn't be miserable. You wouldn't look at you were miserable from the abuse that you feel that you're getting from the person.
Yes,
But
yes.
then you got to do healthy things to help, just like you're helping yourself. Maybe a person should decide, how can I help him? How can I get him in a healthy state of mind thinking? You know what I'm saying? So what can he do to better his life in his present condition?
But she
Maybe
might be beyond that point, coach. She might be, at some point in time, this we talking about 20 plus years now.
I
So
agree.
she might be at the point now where, you know what, she can't focus on him anymore. Because remember, she said in her letter, they have separated and gotten back together. So they have separated and gotten back together. And I just believe that, in some point in that desperation where they were getting separated and getting back together, separated and getting back together, she needs to now focus on herself just as she's doing, going back to school, fulfilling her dreams and her goals, and getting her education. Start that focus right there. And for him, he need to pursue something. Because
And,
one of the things that make them miserable is that you're so focused on what the other person is or is not doing. We're focused on what.
that extends to a lack of them not doing. So when you putting so much energy in seeing what someone else is doing, there's a sense of, I ain't gonna call it jealousy, but the sense of they're so busy watching them, but they're not busy doing something for themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about how to get out.
Join the conversation on Living the Life You Love, hosted by founder, executive producer, and host Catherine Murray Love, brings you a monthly talk show that takes you on a journey of exclusive interviews from individuals who share their passion as business entrepreneurs, community leaders, an advocate to raise awareness, and how they found purpose in being successful and living the life they love. Join us as we go live on Facebook and YouTube at Kweliworks, KWELIWORKS, monthly every fourth Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. A conversation you don't want to miss. This show is executive produced by Catherine Murray Love and powered by Kweliworks Empowerment Broadcast Network.
Make it sizzle, make it hot. I'm Dr. Stevens, executive producer and host of the Dr. Stevens and Swearington Show, where all of our topics are real, relevant, and engaging. Streaming on Facebook and YouTube January 19th, 2023, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you have a story and would like to be a guest on our show, please contact us at contactus@drsnsshow.com. If you have a situation and are looking for some answers, please send us a cherry note to contact us at drsnsshow.com, and please address it to the cherry note, and we will give you answers during our show. If you have a product or a business and would like to advertise on our show, please email us. And if you would like to be a sponsor, please call us at 866 377 7469. Please save the date, January 19th, 2023, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm Dr. Stevens. Make it sizzle, make it hot. Welcome back. This is the point really where I feel like I want to take off my shoes, sit on the couch, and have this conversation with you. This is for you that's in a relationship. You have to decide whether you stay or whether or not you get out. So the question is, how do we get out? Coach, what's your take on how we get out? What is some of the advice you would give someone that's in a relationship that really want to get
Oh,
out?
I'm so glad you asked this question. One of the ways that you can get out is first, you got to first tell yourself and believe that you deserve better, period. You know, that's one way. Then you got to stop expecting change. A lot of times we fall into this thing, it's going to get better. We're going to get better if I just do this. And then you keep doing all these things. And over time, you realize you 2, 3, 4, 5 or longer in a relationship. And the change that you've been looking for never comes. Another thing you have to do is stop feeling guilty about hurting the partner, you know, and also don't let your partner convince you to stay. You need to pray about all this that we're talking about. But another thing I would say is you have to plan ahead. Really think about it quietly to yourself, plan ahead, start making decisions to get your resources in place, whether it's money, whether it's shelter, whether it's food, whatever. You need to make plans. If you don't financially have the career or the job to sustain your life, then you need to start, maybe go back to school, because you're planning an exit strategy at this point. And also, you need to get a support system and find someone that you can talk to. Those are steps to getting out.
Those are good. Those are good. Those are good steps. Good suggestions. And the other thing is, you in doing all of those things, you have to be mentally and emotionally prepared. You're not going to get out if your mind isn't made up. So you
Absolutely.
definitely have to have a made up mind. You know, we vacillate back and forth between should I leave or should I stay? Should I leave or should I stay? And as Coach Java said, you end up staying. Next thing you know, you're still there 4 or 5 years later. You have to have a made up mind along with your plan to decide that you want to get out. And we're gonna take a quick break, but when we come back, I want to talk to you about why not be alone and heal. We go through this process in a relationship. We get in and out of relationship, and we're still broken. We haven't taken time to heal. So when we come back, that's going to be our topic. Why not be alone and take the time to heal?
Hey, it's your girl, Coach Lady Mia, reminding you to join the conversation on the SNS show with Dr. Stevens and Coach Swearington as they make it sizzle and make it hot. Monthly, every third Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time as they go live on Facebook at DRSNS Show. If you want to advertise with them or submit your cherry note, please email at contact us at drsnsshow.com or call us at 1-866-377-7469. Also, visit online at www.drsnsshow.com. That's www.drsnsshow.com.
Welcome back. Before we go to why not be alone and heal, I wanted to make sure that you have the information of sending us a cherry note. If you're dealing with a situation and you need some answers to that situation, email us at contact us at drsnsshow.com and make sure you address it the cherry note. And we will take the time to respond at our next show so that you can get the answers you're seeking for. Now, we're going to go into why not take time to be alone and heal. Because I know a lot of times, we'll get in and out of relationships and we haven't taken the time to actually heal, take time for ourselves. So, Coach, let's talk about taking time to be alone. A lot of people don't want to be alone. So let's talk about that.
Yes, Dr. Stevens, I agree with you. People don't want to be alone, but people need to understand and know that it's okay to be alone. You know, First they have to make that up in their mind. Next to me, it's all about emotional health at this point. You know, take time to relax, breathe, meditate, do exercise, pursue new friends, or get into having your own friends, like separating from your friends that you already have together when you're leaving a relationship. You need to start developing new friendships, and just know that it's okay to be alone.
Yeah, I believe that people really have a hard time being alone. And let me tell you some of the things that being alone will do for you. One, it'll give you the opportunity to heal. I remember Yolanda Van Zant said, you know, she took the time to do the work. You know, if you take time to be alone, you have the opportunity to do the work. Do whatever it takes to heal on the inside. Find out what you need to heal from. Find out, you know, what it is that you've been through that's allowing you to repeat cycles in
Mm,
relationships, cycles, you know, in life. You know, we all have something that we've experienced that could hold us back, and that does hold us back if we don't take time to heal, take time to pursue what it is that that's triggering us. A lot of people don't know their triggers. You know, especially when you've been abused as a young child. You know, and we go into relationships believing that that's the way it is. But when you take the opportunity to be alone, don't be afraid to be alone. It's okay to be alone. As a matter of fact, you can do a whole lot of things alone and not have to worry about making someone else happy in the process. Take time to be alone to heal and become
mm.
a whole person. That is so important. What's your take, coach?
Dr. Stevens, I believe you summed that up perfectly well. I just totally agree with everything you just said. Um, for me, it's just there's peace of mind, giving that brain a break from all the trauma and stress and everything that it's been through. You know, the mind needs time to heal too. So you need to heal for your whole body.
And not only that, you have an opportunity to decide, you know, if you want to change your career, if you want to pursue new goals, you have an opportunity. For me, I'm the type of person, I really don't like to answer to people. I don't like people asking me a lot of questions. And I had to learn that. But I took time by myself to say, you know what is it about me? And we're talking about relationships. And one of the things that really gets me when you're meeting people, I've asked my fiance about, you know, what was his rules to love. And one of the things he said to me is, I want somebody to love me for me. And I was like, what does that mean? I've talked to women and they say, well, I just want somebody to accept me the way I am. What does that really mean? Accept me the way that I am. Because
Hmm.
for me, if you're jacked up from the floor up, why should somebody accept you like that? You have to realize that you're jacked up. You know,
Absolutely.
yeah, you have to realize that there's things wrong with you and fix them. Like, you know, I know a young lady that had a very troubling childhood, and she's an abuser. She don't want to believe she's an abuser, but she's an abuser. She abuses her boyfriend. She can't keep a man. That's another show.
Mm.
But you could not tell her that there's something wrong. There's got to be something wrong. She abused her. She's abusive in her relationships. She's abusive to her children. There is something wrong. But she go from relationship to relationship to relationship. And at some point, you have to stop, take time, take time out for yourself, take time out to pursue what's really wrong, and begin to break some of these cycles, generational curses. Begin to break some of these things. This stuff is real, coach.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Again, like all of this that we're talking about, I'm very similar. The thing is, we started out, why stay when we really want out? You know, and I think a lot of that has to stem to the beginning of the foundation of a relationship. You know, really take time to court people and get to know people. People jump in from one broken relationship into another relationship and bring all that baggage with them. Never taking
Absolutely.
time to take that healing that we're talking about, never taking time to heal. never taking time to breathe, never taking the time to just take care of self. You got to love you. That's another thing, loving on you first. People are like, he don't love me. Like I need to be loved. What if you love yourself first and give the love that you need? You can receive love and receive it the right way. Because can't nobody make you feel love until you learn how to be in love with yourself first.
You said a word there. Take time to learn to love on me. You have to take time
Yes.
to learn to love on yourself. Matter of fact, you have to know what loving you feels like.
Yes.
You have to know
Absolutely.
what loving you feels like. If you don't know how to love you, you can't teach no one else how to love you. And I'm a firm believer you have to teach people how to treat you. Because
Yes.
if you don't know how to love yourself, there's no way in the world you're going to know how someone else is supposed to love you. You're not going to sit around and smack yourself. You're
Mm,
not going to sit around and put yourself out the car. You're
mm.
not going to sit around and cuss yourself out. I know I'm not, and I'm not one for using the B word at women or in my friendships. That in my friendship with you real fast, calling me the B word, calling me anything out of my name, out of my title.
Mm.
You know,
Especially when a man does it. Especially when it comes from a man. Calling me anything.
yeah, anything that's not endearing. And you say especially from a man, I say especially from anybody because you even your friend.
We're talking about relationships. So when I say that, I'm thinking man and woman at the time.
Yes, yes.
So
And
yeah,
nowadays you gotta say women too.
right.
Nowadays men
Yeah,
and women, because
well,
now we
yeah,
have these same
that's
sex
going
relationships. We
absolutely.
have same sex relationships. We got to keep it real.
Yeah,
Same
that's
sex
going on
relationships.
too.
And I
But the other thing,
find
before you finish that thought, Dr. Stevens, the other thing is stop settling. When you got your checkoff list that this dude is da 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 da. Stop settling when you start missing those dots that you already put on your checkoff list. Don't say, "Well, he got half of what I need, but he don't got the other half," because the other half is the turmoil that you're going to go through in that relationship. So
absolutely.
stick to what it is that you value, what it is that you see that you want, making sure that that person have those things that you know that you want. Because again, it's about you in this point. Each person is about them, whether it's the man or the
Absolutely.
woman. So do not
Absolutely.
settle on what you know you need for you, and recognize the sign when you're going from one relationship to another relationship. Because sometimes we pick the same type of people, just a different face, and
We
you go
pick
through
them same spirits. You're
the
right. We pick
same
those
cycle
same
all
spirits.
over again.
Right. The same spirits.
And
It's
then
a
you
different
wonder,
different look.
why your relationship keep ending. You keep wondering why
Yes.
you keep going from
Yes.
one relationship to the next. And sometimes you got to check on you. You got to do your self analysis on yourself, because it's not always the other person. Sometimes it's the baggage that you bring in, the mindset that you bring in, the attitude that you bring in. It's sometimes you. So take the time to look at you. That's why we got to. That's why we got to self heal.
Well, you know what, Coach? You said sometimes it's you. For me, I'm gonna say majority of the time it's you.
Yep.
Yeah, most majority of the time it's you because you keep allowing yourself to get into those same relationships because
Yes.
you have not taken the time to heal. You have not taken the time, as you said, check off that checklist because you keep compromising,
Yes.
compromising because you don't want to be alone, compromising. Um, I've seen on YouTube where women are crying on YouTube because they have children and they don't have a man that like to help them with their kids and you know how did you get in that situation?
Mhm.
Take
That's
time.
another show. That is definitely
That is another show.
that's
That
another
is
show
another
right there.
show. That's definitely another show, and we're gonna have to cover that show.
Yes.
And but take time out to learn who you are. Take time out to learn what does it take to please you. Take time out to know how to sleep in peace,
Mm.
eat alone, and be happy to do it. I remember take time out to date your own self. One of the greatest things I could have done was learn how to date me. Because if I don't know how to date me, you definitely don't know how. You definitely don't know how to tell somebody else how to date you. And I'm the type of woman. Of course, I come from that generation where we believe a man is supposed to open the door for you. And I'm still there. I believe a man supposed to be opening the door for me. I won't date a man if he don't open the door for me. I don't care if it's the house door, car door. He don't even have to be my man. If me and another man get ready to go through the door together at the same time, I step back and let that man open that door.
Yes. Yes.
Because that is a standard, and women today have lowered their standards so much for love. So it's very, very important that you take time out to be alone in order to evaluate, get the counseling you need, take the moment to learn who you are and heal. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Hey, it's your girl, Coach Lady Q, asking you to join me on the Glow 365 TV every first Tuesday for the Mia Allman Show, hosted by yours truly, followed by the second Tuesday with Holistic Health Show with Coach Dawn. We stroll down to the third Tuesday with On Q Show, hosted by Evangelist Coach Lady Q. Then we close out the month with the Sophie G Show, hosted by Coach Sophie G. Join us as we go live on Facebook and YouTube at Glow 365 TV Show every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time as we talk about the mind, body, and soul in conversation you don't want to miss.
Welcome back. I'm Dr. Stevens. And before we come to a close, I want to take this opportunity to say, if you have a product or a business and would like to advertise on our show, please email us. And if you would like to become a sponsor, you may email us at drsnsshow.com, or you may call us at 866-377-7469. And you can go to our website, www.drsnsshow.com. There you will find resources for the abuse and resources for help, as well as the pricing for advertising with us. I want to thank you for joining us in our season 1 of the Dr. Stevens and Swearington Show. And my words for you, if you're in a relationship where you are being abused, please go to www.hotline.com, and there you can get help. You can speak to someone, find resources. I would say love on yourself. Take time to be alone and heal. Do not stay in a situation that does not bring you peace, happiness, and joy. And last of all, love on yourself to life. Coach?
For my words of encouragement, believe and know that it is okay. Seek the help that you need. Live, be happy, and move forward.
Thank you for joining the Dr. Stevens and Swearington Show. And catch our next show, Why Women Cannot Sustain a Successful Relationship.
Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to join us on the next SNS show with Dr. Stevens and Coach Swearington on Thursday, February the 16th, 2023 at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, entitled Why Successful Black Women Can't Find Love. Streaming live on Facebook and YouTube at DRSNS Show, a conversation you don't want to miss. Also, click on the button below to like and subscribe to watch all our upcoming show. The SNS Show has been powered by Coily Works Empowerment Broadcast Network.